to the Gamescape, everybody. My name is Jarek, and today we are back in Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. This is episode 25 of our playthrough. And in our previous episode, quite a bit happened. We ended up getting out of... We were on the second level of the Grey Garrison and just ready to move up to the third. And we moved out into the balcony hallway there where the stairs were. And we ran into Staunton the Dwarf and Minago the Demoness. And she was making another attempt to convince Staunton to join her and get away from the Crusaders. He ended up saying no. He attacked her and then he fled, and she teleported away, which was good because we didn't really want to fight her. So that cleared the way for us to go back up to the third level. Once we got upstairs, we ran into a rather large Minotaur, but we were able to take him down without too much trouble. We got a little grease trap on him there, and he was not able to get back up, and we were able to finish him off. And then we went over to the Wardstone, and I was expecting a fight, but there wasn't one. And so we were able to, through the Aeon that we had picked up in the market square, we were able to see the angels that were trapped in the Wardstone, powering it, basically. The thoughts of the Aeon, as we kind of examined things and looked at the two different types of angels in there. There was the light ones and then there was the red ones. The light ones were the ones that had, gone in there and were still loyal and still wanted to be there and thought, it was an honor to do what they were doing. The red ones were the ones that had kind of been corrupted by the magic that Minago had been putting on there. They'd been tortured, and they were basically of the opinion at that point that it wasn't worth it anymore. And so we were basically given a choice. We could destroy the whole thing, which is what the Aeon wanted. The Aeon was seeing it as, yes, while the demons interfered, then so did Iomade by introducing something into the mortal realm that shouldn't have been there as well. And so that shouldn't have happened either. So he was of the opinion that, or it was of the opinion that the whole thing should just be destroyed. We didn't do that. We took the good path. That was, we freed the red angels of the, basically we cut out we used the chisel that we found to cut out the corrupted part of the Wardstone and left the angels that were still there like they wanted to be there to, continue to protect, the mortals and whatnot. So that was fine. Well, the Aeon didn't think so because it left. Its power faded away from us. I think that might take away the ability for us to choose that as a mythic path down the road. I'm not 100% sure about that. We'll find out. It's a neutral path from what I can tell, so it's not something that we would probably be interested in anyway. But anyway, it did say that the power had left us, so that's fine. After that, the roof blew off of the garrison, and we were suddenly face to face with Minago and her host of lackeys. But at that point, the power of the Wardstone was kind of flowing through us, and the mythic power of Iomade kind of put us at a level where she couldn't deal with us. It just temporarily, but we were able to beat her and her lackeys. And we were just about ready to put her down when Staunton the dwarf came in, and despite our best efforts to convince him otherwise, he decided to turn traitor and side with Minago, and so the two of them escaped together, and I'm sure we'll be seeing them again later on. So that was kind of where that ended. After that, the demons all fled the city or were destroyed, and there was a party at the tavern, which we were kind of cut to that party. We were talking to certain people and lots of things were happening. People were starting to say that we're, blessed by the gods and wanted us to breathe on rocks and whatever for them for good luck. And yeah, it's whatever. That's fine. And suddenly the Queen Galfrey had decided to reveal that she was there with us at the table, just being quiet with her hooded cloak. I don't know. I kind of think that it was unlikely that she would have been able to hide amongst the crowd like she did at our table, but whatever. It's fine. And so she congratulated us and so on and so forth. And now we are at her camp where her soldiers are outside the city. And she has officially announced the beginning of the Fifth Crusade. And much to our surprise, also mentioned that we were the ones that were going to be leading it. And it's like, say what? But okay, I guess that's what it's going to be. Then that's what it's going to be. We weren't exactly given a choice in the matter. So that's where we're at. And that is where we left off. So we have level ups to do. You can see here we've got the start of our mythic path, and we've got a regular level 2. So let's go ahead and get into this. We're just going to stay two-handed fighter, looking good there, serving us well so far. So we are going to get skill points going here. Going to just go ahead and keep on with what we've been doing. I don't want Knowledge World. We're not making potions really. The only thing we know how to do is brew potions of, cure light wounds, and well, those are getting to be not worth having anymore because it's just not enough hit points restored. So I don't really know. What's a good one to have here? That get us anything? Nah, not too much. We'll just go with athletics. It's with our heavy armor, it's not really that useful, but it's something. Okay. And we get two-handed weapon training, so now we get an extra +1 bonus to our attack and damage rolls with two-handed weapons, so that's excellent. Easy level there. We're also going to go ahead and do our mythic path. The only one we have available to us is Mythic Hero. These will come in later. And I see that Eon is not here, so probably it's just gone forever, and that's okay. Like I said, it's a neutral path. We weren't going to take it anyway, so we're going to do Mythic Hero because that's what we have to do. And we are going to choose to be an instrument of freedom, I believe. So what this gives us is a 50-foot range touch attack bolt that can target either an ally or a foe. Bolt deals 46 plus 2d6 per mythic rank, so it's 66 to start out with, basically. Points of damage to enemies is used on allies. The bolt charges their attacks with weapons of +2 mythic rank bonus rounds. Charges their attacks with weapons for +2 plus mythic ranks of rounds. So basically they get magic weapons is what it ends up being. And their weapons also end up dealing extra damage, extra holy damage on hit, and count as good for the purposes of bypassing damage reduction. So those characters can use the ability 3 times per day. We can use the ability 3 times per day. At second mythic rank, the characters become closer to the Azatis that live in Elysium, gaining resist electricity 20 and +4 bonus to their saving throws. So that's what Valric gets. I should say that's not part of the bonus that is given to allies that are hit with that. So, all right. And we at level 2 we'll have Freedom's Child, which is that, it's that +2. So that's what that's going to be. So that's good. And then we get a mythic ability. And the ones I was looking through here, there's a few good ones that we're going to want, but we're going to start with Last Stand. And what that does is once per day, when our hit points drop low, we become unkillable. For 2 rounds, you become immune to damage that would make you unconscious. So that will serve us well in a tough fight, I think, where Valric needs to stay in and needs to keep dealing heavy damage, even if he's getting beat down. And so I think that will be excellent. Also, that Minotaur that we faced off against on the top level of the Grey Garrison there, it charged Valric and it came pretty close to putting him down with 1 hit. So that's going to be something I suspect we're going to be dealing with more and more, is those initial attacks coming in and really, really hurting us badly. So here's our new ability that we can use, and we can use it against foes or on allies. So that's good. And we got more level ups to do here. I went ahead and did Darren and Ninio since we're not using them, and I left the rest of these for the video here. Let me know in the comments, though, if you guys are interested in watching me level up these characters, because it does take a while, and maybe that's not something you're interested in. Maybe you'd like more just like a summary or whatever. Maybe you don't even care exactly what we took. So we'll, I'm happy to do whichever. If you guys don't care about this, then we can cut it out of the video and we can move on. So I can just do it off screen. So let me know if you have a preference, and we'll see what happens. Staying with Stigmatized Witch here. We are going to stay on with what she's already doing, which is good. And so she gets another hex. At this point, we're going to take do we want Cackle? She's got Vulnerability Curse, which we haven't really started using yet, but that's going to be useful when we start slinging around fire. which she can already do, by the way. We just haven't really been doing it. And because she's got, you know, her starting traits were point blank shot and precise shot. And so that's going to be something that she's going to be able to do pretty nicely. But she's got Evil Eye, which is nice. We can continue to extend the duration of Evil Eye too, even if they make their saving throw. So maybe we go Cackle here. The other thing we could do is we could do Protective Luck, but Camellia already has that. And she's in our party for the foreseeable future, I think, because I like the party, how it's meshed, and it's working well together. So I don't see us changing it too much, at least not right away. So I think maybe at this point, instead of Protective Luck, maybe we go with Cackle. And we can start extending, we can start throwing the Evil Eye on people and extending it out with Cackle. We'll pick up Protective Luck eventually, but I don't think it's needed just quite yet. So we'll do that. All right. We get a level 3 spell. There's some good ones here. Heroism is pretty good. Remove Disease isn't actually the worst. Stinking Cloud is decent. This thing is actually quite good. Now it is poison damage, which most of the demons are immune to, but cultists are not. And so they become nauseated, last for D4 plus 1 rounds after they leave it. So that's fine. That could be nice. So I don't know. There's some really good choices here. Cure Serious Wounds is okay. Bestow Curse. That's got to get past spell resistance for that, which is going to get harder and harder as the game goes on. +2 bonus to morale. +2 morale bonus on attack rolls, saves, and skill checks. So good, good bonuses here. Lightning Bolt's always nice, but she's going to be focused more on fire. In fact, does she have... She doesn't have any level 3 spells yet. So, I don't know. Spit Venom isn't the worst either. Ranged touch attack. Venom hits causes blindness for a round. Target must also save or be poisoned. So it causes blindness no matter what. Blindness is a nice debuff. Let's start with Heroism, because it's a good buff for our guys. I think we'll start with that, and then we'll pick up more as we go, obviously. So she gets 4 per day, and she gets some spells too already. So if we complete this, if we look at her spell book, she's going to have level 3 spells beside. No, that's her only one. Okay, fair enough. She does get Scorching Ray though, which is quite good. It does have to get past spell resistance. We need to get spell penetration for her the next time we get a feat, because she's going to be needing that as well. So we'll work on that. Mythic Path for her. We want Elemental. No, what is it? It's Ascendant Element, and we're going to go with Fire, because she does have those fire bolts. Basically what this does is this makes her fire attacks bypass any resistances or immunities. So her fire bolts will always hit and do, they won't be resisted or have immunities to. So that's going to be really good for her too. So, okay, so that's her. We got Woljif. Okay, let's keep them on the rogue track here. Keep going with the ones that we have here already. Maybe? I don't know. I can't remember. Can he scroll? Do scrolls? I think he can. He was the one that we had that could do scrolls. That's right. Well, we'll give him another point of Arcana. That's fine. All right. And then he gets a couple new spells too. Bear's Endurance, he doesn't need that probably. Got some choices here. Create Pit maybe. I thought he already had pits. Somebody else was casting Create Pit, I guess. We get what, two new spells. Glitter Dust is a good one. Glitter Dust is definitely a good one. Really, really nice debuff. Blinded guys suffer like 50% chance to miss just outright or something like that. I don't remember the exact, but it's quite powerful. What else do we want for him? Let's have maybe Blur, maybe 20% chance concealment. That will stack later with another one that gives us 50%, which is pretty good. Bear's Endurance gives a bonus to Constitution. Blindness has to get past spell resistance. Bone Shaker, not a terrible one. Does some damage. It does a Fortitude save for half damage, but it's a decent amount. 3d6 plus a d6 per every 2 caster levels. So that's okay. What else do we got? We already have protection from immunity. Or immunity, protection from alignment. We've got Bull Strength, Mirror. I don't know if this matters too terribly much. Let's have Blur. I think Blur's fine. Okay. Next up. Oh, his Mythic Path. I don't know what to do with his Mythic Path exactly. He could get something maybe that gives us extra attacks of opportunity, maybe. Last Stand wouldn't be the horrible thing for him either. Maybe Leading Strike. Basically what this does is if you hit something, you do additional, the next ally that hits them does an additional damage of a d6 per mythic rank and then consumes the mark. That's something, I guess. Powerful shadows, shadow spells. We don't have those really. Thundering Blows, Unstoppable. Yeah, I don't know. Give me just a minute, guys. I'm going to probably just go through these one more time and I'll bring you right back after I make a decision on this. Okay, guys, I think what we're going to do is we're going to take Thundering Blows with him. Basically, the sound of your blows is powerful enough to damage even without piercing through the enemy defenses. Once per round, when your melee attack misses the target, you deal 2d6 plus 1d6 per 2 mythic ranks of sonic damage to all enemies in 10-foot radius. So basically, even if he misses, he still hits, is what it boils down to, as long as they're not immune to sonic damage. So I think that'll be fine for him. There isn't a whole lot here that kind of helps us out too much with how we use Woljif. So I think we're okay. Abundant Casting, I thought about too. Extra first, second, and third level spells. You know what? Actually, maybe that's the better choice now that I think about it. Let's do that one instead, I think. Oh, he doesn't memorize his spells though. I don't remember if he memorizes his spells or not. So we'll now let's go with what we said before. Let's have the Thundering Blows. Let's do that. Okay. Let's see if I was wrong about that. So does he have a spell book? He does. I could have actually gone with that. That's okay. Maybe next time. All right. Plan. All right. Sticking with the Divine Hound. Okay. We're going to do some athletics and some of that, and some of this, and some of this. All right. So we get more spells for him too. Where are we at? We get one more spell that we can pick. It's a level 2 spell. He's already got Cat's Grace, Sense Vitals. Okay, so that's good for him. Bark skin wouldn't be the worst. Protection from energy, maybe, wouldn't be the worst. Sickening entanglement, I don't know if that helps us. That's poison. A lot of our enemies are demons, so they're immune to poison, so that doesn't help us too much against most of our enemies. Natural rhythm. Well, it's a natural attack. We're not making natural attacks with him. Armor you wear no longer reduces your speed. You can also reduce the armor's armor check penalty by 1 + 1 per 5 caster levels. Bull strength, bear strength. Let's go bark skin. Okay. And then his mythic. There's some kind of nice ranged mythics here, including one that gives him, it is, I think it's actually the same as the spell that he's got. Which one was that? It was ranging shots is one. Yeah, every time you miss with a ranged attack weapon, your aim improves, giving you a stacking +1 bonus on attacks against the same enemy to maximum of your mythic rank. Every successful hit lessens this bonus by 1, so it's kind of up and down. There was one that gives, there it is, exposed vulnerability. Your ranged weapon attacks expose an enemy's vulnerable points. Every third hit with a ranged weapon against the same enemy deals an additional d6 per 2 mythic ranks. So that one's good. And then there was another one that gave basically backstab, not backstab damage. The name is gone out of my brain for a second here, but it'll come back. Don't worry. So abundant casting, always a chance. Don't automatically miss when you roll a 1. That's nice. Archmage armor, send an element. Ancient summons, battle meditation. Brutality incarnate. That's natural. Weapons, cleaving shot. Every time you deal critical damage, your ranged weapon attack, or reduce the target to 0 hit points, you deal your weapon damage to all other enemies in a 10-foot radius. That's maybe not too bad. Distracting shots. If you hit an enemy with a ranged attack, they receive a penalty on the AC against melee attacks equal to half your mythic rank for 1 round. Ever ready, extra attack of opportunity, judgments, exposed vulnerability we talked about. Limitless rage, leading strike. There was one here that gave flanking basically. Powerful shadows, ranging shots. That breaks you free. Here we are. I think this was it. You gain bonus on your attack rolls with ranged weapons equal to the penalty to AC the target receives from their size, if any. That wasn't it either. Okay, well, I don't know which one it is. Exposed vulnerability is not bad. Distracting shots is pretty good. That'll help out our frontline fighters. Let's go with that. We're usually firing into melee anyway. Cleaving shot. That's extra damage. 10-foot radius, decent. Yeah, let's go with that. I like it. Okay. Okay, here we go. Stay with the Spirit Hunter. Gonna have that and that. And that is all she gets this time around. And she needs her mythic path. So she is mostly using her hexes. She doesn't really do elemental type stuff. Enduring spells. Effects of your spells on your allies that should last longer than an hour, but shorter than 24 hours. Now last 24 hours. But that opens up greater enduring, which means longer than 5 minutes, but shorter than 24 hours, last 24. So that's something. You know what? She's already working towards more attacks of opportunity. Let's give her ever ready so that she can get more. Like I said, we've got stuff coming up pretty soon where we're going to be causing attacks of opportunities by critical hits and stuff like that. So I think we're going to build towards that with her. I think that'll be just fine. Okay, see, that's all we got left here. She gets a mercy. Oh, okay. It's when she lays on hands. I was looking for this the other episode, couple episodes ago, because I knew that she had something that would remove fatigue. That was the mercy we picked. I couldn't remember how it worked, but there it is. She has to do lay on hands to do it, so that makes sense. Okay, let's do that. Okay, so she's got another mercy. We're going to do diseased, I think. Okay. And then for her mythic, she probably wants Abundant Smite. Learn a way to increase the number of uses of your Smite Evil ability. You can use Smite Evil a number of additional times per day equal to half your mythic rank. That's not bad for her, because that allows her to add her charisma bonus to her damage and such too, and her hit, I think, if I remember right. So that's pretty good. That's probably what we'll go with. Boundless Healing does what? Whenever you cast Cure Wounds spell or another healing spell, it becomes Reach, as though the Reach spell effect feat. Also, the amount of hit points it now restores depends entirely on your caster level and disregards any limits to the original spell. Reach spell, you can, yeah, range of touch can be a little bit further in. That's fine. Last Stand wouldn't be the worst for her too. She is a frontline fighter. But I think we're going to do the Abundant Smite. Okay, there we go. We need to get everybody's spells up to shape. Oh, we have horse and dog left to do yet too. This will just take a second. Oh, you know what else she could have done is she could have done Mythic Animal Companion too. Then her horse starts getting these mythic abilities as well. All right. And we could do that with Woljif too. Or sorry, not Woljif, with Lan, because the dog is Lan's pet. Okay, so there we go. Let's get our spells sorted real quick, and then I think we're going to be ready to start looking around here. So, nope. She doesn't memorize spells. He does. So he's got a couple of greases. He's got burning hands. Let's get one more grease, maybe. Useful spell. Okay, and then second level spells. What do we got? Hideous Laughter and Protection from Alignment. Glitter Dust, definitely. Full Strength isn't the worst. Blur isn't the worst. Let's do Glitter Dust there. We actually have protection already. Hideous Laughter. It's okay. So this is this any creatures covered by the dust take a -40. penalty to... Okay, yeah, that's fine. Stealth checks. But Cloud of Golden Particles, is this enemies only is what I'm looking for. Causing creatures to become blinded and visible, outline invisible things duration of the spell. So no, it's not enemies only. So we have to be careful with it. But that's okay. So that's good. So he's only got level 1 and 2. So he's all set. Land doesn't have spells. She gets another level 2 spell, looks like. She already has 1 bull strength. Aid, she's got Cure Moderate, isn't the worst. More cure spells, always decent. Protection from Alignment Communal is a good one. But she's already got one. Yeah, let's go with another Cure Moderate Wounds. Just having more healing just in general isn't ever a bad thing. Okay, so that's that. And then level 3 spells, she gets 3. She gets Magical Vestment, basically for free. This is what? Imbue the suit of armor or shield with an enhancement bonus of +1 per 4 caster levels to a maximum of +5. So, okay, that just makes her armor magical, basically. That's good. Bestow Curse, Blindness, Cure Serious, Protection from Energy, maybe. Remove Disease is useful situationally, but that's something we could do at camp, basically. Stinking Cloud, definitely we want one of those at least. And then let's do Cure Serious. Okay. And she gets another level 1 spell. Divine Favor is an excellent buff. Personal buff. You get +1 luck bonus on attack and weapon damage rolls for every 3 caster levels you have, at least +1, maximum of +3. So that's a nice buff. And that lasts for 1 minute. So that's the duration of any fight. So that's good. Okay, looks good there. She's only gets the +1. Okay, that looks good. And that's it for that. So we are all set with our party. And now that we're halfway through the episode, we are ready to start looking around. All right. So Erebeth is with us. Storyteller's probably got something for us. The old elf smiles when he hears your footsteps. Allow me to congratulate you on your victory and on acquiring mythical powers capable of casting down the strongest of demons. All right. Have you decided to join the crusade? I've decided not to. I'm afraid my path and the path of the crusade lead in the same direction, but alas, they are not yet one and the same. After the demons were driven away from Canabras, the path into the world wound became open, if only temporarily. I'm planning on using this opportunity to visit. The elf falls silent. It doesn't matter now. I hate to bore you with the details of my venture, which may prove useless even for myself. However, I'll return to the Crusaders and aid them in their confrontation with the demons after I'm done. I hope to meet again in this world rather than the next. Okay, well, I did get the page you were looking for. Storyteller carefully takes the page from your hands. His fingers touch the ancient letters gently, examining them lightly, following their lines. I see. Myself, young, energetic, able to see. Oh gods, have I found the key to my past? Finally, I will be able to find out what my own mind has been hiding from me. Okay, so he took the elven notes. We gained some XP. The elf's expression becomes withdrawn. Wrinkles on his face soften. Thank you, Valric, and please follow me to my story. Let us embark on this journey together. The storyteller inhales sharply a few times and begins his story. They're leaving. The people of Kyonin faced the coming earthfall and admitted they were incapable of handling this disaster. Proud rulers, artful crafters, brave warriors, wise mages, and skilled healers, all of them in a hurry to the gate of Seviran. Looking around fearfully, a clean, safe world is waiting for them there. My people decided not to fight the Golarian. I am ashamed and I am sorry for them. Their hearts wavered in the face of catastrophe, but my will is strong. I am staying. My kinfolk are looking at me angrily. How dare I diminish their decision with my recklessness? My choice makes them cowards, traitors for their own home. One of them, my former mentor, looks at me bitterly. He hands me a neat notebook with tree bark cover. In case you change your mind. With a heavy sigh, he returns to the line of those departing. Forgive me, brothers and sisters. I watch the gate of the Silverian stone close, separating me from them. It's time for me to go too. I open my master's notebook. These are his notes about traveling between worlds, in case you change your mind. He hopes the burden I shoulder voluntarily will be too much. I will lose heart and find my way to Sovereign. That will never happen. My mouth set stubbornly. I tear my master's notebook to pieces. I used my forced pride as a shield against my fear of what is to come. So why did they decide to flee and not fight? Storyteller's lips pursed with disdain. They are afraid to lose what they have. They were rulers, long-lived and powerful. They valued their lives and sunshine too much to enter the fight with the aftermath of Earthfall. So your mentor's a mage, then you must be too, yeah? Yes, I am an archmage, and this title is well deserved. I've acquired delicate mastery and succeeded in many years of magic, but curiosity has always pushed me toward new knowledge since the first day of my apprenticeship. So what is the Sovereign stone? Sovereign stone. A magnificent crystal bent into an arch by a mighty hand of an ancient divine creator. Our great gate to the other worlds. It breathes power. It dreams of eternity. Are you angry at your fellow elves? I spent many hundreds of years in Keonan. I've always admired the way my kinfolk cared for the forest that was our home. But the rest of the world seemed to mean nothing to them. But I love Golarion, all its places, all its forms it manifests in. I traveled widely and then came home and told my kinfolk about my travels, but they weren't interested. They only cared about Keonan. Their lack of desire to hear about the wider world makes me sad and angry. All right, well, what happened next? Earthfall happened at night. I'm standing at the top of my tower, many miles to the north of Keonan. I see a blaze far in the south. I hear a horrendous rumble. The air is groaning, giving way to a huge rock, rushing down on my world. And then a blow. Vibration that penetrates everything, reaching down into the bowels of Golarion and up to the vaults of the sky. Crunching bones, blood from burst vessels, filling my eyes with darkness, drowning in timelessness along with countless denizens of Golarion. Never before have we been so united in our feelings. When I come around, the darkness remains. My first terrible thought, I'm blind. But no, little by little I begin to see the stone wall. I am alive, but why is it so dark? The answer is quick, the smell of ash everywhere. The great burnt sacrifice filled the air with incinerated particles of what was recently the continent of Aslan. Great clouds of ash covered the sky, cutting us off from the sun and the moon, dooming us to a dusk at day and complete darkness at night. My heart sinks with fear. Treacherous thoughts fill my mind. What did I stay? Why did I stay? Why didn't I run like everyone else when I had the chance? I clench my teeth and stand up to watch Earthfall, proudly like the last Archmage of Keonan should. Will my world really perish like this? Will I perish? No, that will never happen. I'm still alive and I can fight Earthfall in the darkness, not run from it in a blind panic like my kinfolk and my cowardly teacher. But what can I do? I will not stop the disaster. I will hardly be able to save empires from their destruction. What can I do? I am but one Archmage, powerful and weak at the same time. So what is Earthfall? It's a disaster of untold proportions. An unborn planet dropped on Golarion by blind fate or someone's evil will. A blow so strong that the continent of Aslan was destroyed within moments, turned to ashes, wiped off the face of Golarion. In this burnt sacrifice, clouds of ash and dust are born, stealing our sun. Without the warmth of our star, the air cools, the soil is barren, the dark creatures crawl out of their lairs to rule, and the most frightening thing, without the sun, all hope dies in the heart. This is the age of darkness. What was this tower you mentioned? That's my retreat to the north of Keonan, my home away from home, my observatory. From its top, I watched the stars, and when they were correctly aligned, the other worlds as well. Here, in the northern wastelands, I found the highest mountain and built a tower atop it. On clear days, I could see the mist over the lakes of mists and vales in the east. That's how high I was. All right, well, what are you going to do next? I don't know. I need to think. My opponent, Earthfall, is much stronger than me. Without noticing, the storyteller raises his voice to a shout. It is merciless. It does not simply destroy life. It kills an era ending the greatness of Galarian civilizations. They will sink into oblivion, be forgotten as if they never existed. I need to think. So it's a cataclysmic event, basically, is what he summed up. Yep. The elf suddenly winces and is silent for a few moments as he calms his heavy breathing. Forgive me, I shouldn't have raised my voice. This story is much harder than many before it, most likely because I played the main role in it. It's so strange to see myself, feel the emotions tearing me up inside, those that I felt a long time ago, and not remember them. It's like I split. I became both the storyteller and the main character. Too bad the story ended at that moment. Please, if you find other pages covered with ancient elven writings in your travels, bring them to me. I might be able to shed some light on my past, and we will find out how my story ended, and perhaps even why I forgot it. All right, well, thank you. Thank you for helping me remember them. All right, that's good enough for that. There's Nenio. This is to rest. Tirabade's tent. We need to ask them about that scabbard that we found in the smuggler's den at the lower levels. So this is mine and Nevia's tent. We're both used to traveling, but I missed what she said. Oh, here it is. But the queen insisted our tent to be furnished like the commanding officers. Okay, I guess we don't get to ask about that. Maybe if we find Avenia. Because we can't talk to her, so. What else do we got here? Commander's tent, that would be us. Nura Dendawar's tent. I don't know who Nura is. Let's find out. This is Nura Dendawar's tent. It seems she brought a lot of unnecessary items along with her. Yeah, there's a lot to loot in here. It's a book. Some gold. Some scrolls. Let's find out who she is before we take everything she's got, maybe. It is loot. Really, we could probably pick it up and it wouldn't affect anything, but just in case. There's Darren. Thought he was leaving. Looks like he's getting ready to leave. Okay, here we go. The burly soldier with an impressive beard greets you with a broad smile. Wilser Garms, the camp quartermaster, at your service. How may I help? Just let's see what you got for sale. And let's get rid of some of this stuff. But we pick up a lot of stuff. Don't sell that. Okay, that's pretty much all the junk. We have 4 magic essences. We need 5 to restore the the belt thing that the belt buckle thing that we're carrying. So that's 8,000. Flowing scales. This is 5 base plus 2. Medium armor, scale mail. +1 daggers, +2, +1 light mace. Oh, he's got all kinds of magic weapons here. Pretty much anything you could want, right? And more than one of them, too. I think we're good, though, for the moment for magic weapons. I don't think anybody needs anything that we don't already have. Okay, we got bucklers. We might be able to get some heavier armor, potentially. Currently, we're wearing half plate. This is 8. +1 half plate, full plate. +1 full plate. That's probably worth getting. Let's get that for Valric. And probably one for Sela as well. Ooh, Mithril Breastplate. This is medium armor. +5 max dexterity, 7 armor class. That we would like to have. Adamantine full plate. That's really expensive. We don't have quite enough for that. Well, we probably do, but this would be really nice for Camellia. Mithril chainmail +1. 7 armor class with 4 max dex. Blade of Order. +2 scimitar lands. Applies -1 penalty to the damage rolls until the end of combat. Ooh, there's lots of cool stuff here. Look at that. 75,000 for Black Dragon's Fang. D8 +3. Plus a D6 acid damage. +3 corrosive longsword. Lands a hit on an enemy. It deals additional 2d6 acid damage to all enemies in a 30-foot area. After the ability's been activated, it can't be activated again for 1d4 rounds. Wow, there's some really cool stuff here we're going to be able to get. I don't think... I'll kind of look through this later on, maybe offline. I won't spend too much time here. But we have new armor, and we're going to pay some money for it, but that's okay, because I think it's going to be helpful. So let's go to inventory. Get out of here. Go to inventory. All right, so Valric gets one of these. So he's currently at 8. This is going to increase him. Yep, nicely. Same with Sela. She's currently at 7 base with 1 max dex. This will give her 10 base with 1 max dexterity. Excellent. And then Camellia, she gets +5, which she can get with this Mithril Breastplate, which is really, really good for her. She's going from 21 to 24. Nice. So that's excellent. All right, good. And the rest of this stuff we're going to just kind of hang on to. I think we're good here for the moment. Okay, this one I will take, whatever this is. Looking around the camp. Oh, hello. Grandma Gretton, the director. It's the actors. A well-dressed old dwarf is lecturing a motley company, shaking her ladle at them belligerently. Noticing you, she flings up her hand. Good afternoon, your commanderness. Do you remember us? We're the crew of the Next Door Theater Company, the one you saved in Canabras. Back when you weren't your commanderness yet. As you can see, we've come on the campaign with you. We signed up to clean pots and mend the soldier clothes. Keeping up a theater is expensive, so we'll have to take side jobs. But we don't stop what we're doing. We're going to put on a play about your legendary feats. Of course, the crowd scenes are difficult. We can't find the people to play the hordes of demons, and we decided against using ritual to summon real demons. Luckily, we have a master chem. He's invented a way to solve the problem using sound. Kem, the sound master, says, we caught a pig with some piglets who ran away from the burned out village. The glum and husky half-orc mumbles softly. We put the piglets in a box and scare them a little, and the sound they make is like an approaching demon horde. It's inventive. But the most important question is, of course, choosing the lead actor who will play the great knight commander. We have a right Barney over it. Breaking the number of lances as well as shovel in a rolling pin and a set of back scratchers. But we couldn't just decide no matter what. Maybe you can help us. We have 2 candidates that are most suited to the role. One will have the honor of conveying your heroism upon the stage. So we have a gnome and a cyclops. Well, this is mean. Okay, so there's a gnome and a cyclops. Do you have any other actors? Well, we're a small and poorly funded theater. We have only a few actors, but they're all so talented. One of a kind. I've chosen the ones that are best fit for your role. Trust my vision. I have more than a few successful plays under my belt. So there's a gnome. Not a gnome, 2 gnomes. Rubbledum and Hierophant are the twins. One of them sits on the other's shoulders and puts on a long coat so they can play tall characters. They switch places every so often. Each gets a moment of fame. So each gets their moment of fame. And that way, they only have to learn half the script. Right, so the Cyclops, huh? Yeah, he's completely tame, believe me. He has a few issues with articulation, but what a powerful physique. We'll make him a nice costume, wash him up, brush his hair. Truth be told, in our show, you mainly just make short heroic exclamations at the fateful moment, like onward, or we'll never give up, or my heart burns with courage. Lambkin can definitely handle the script. All right, well, you know what? Let's have the gnomes do it, I guess. You know what? Now let's go with the Cyclops. Wonderful. Sorry you took away from all the important things heroes and commanders do. We're off to do rehearsal. I mean, first we'll wash some pots. Then we're off to a rehearsal. Let's go, you lazy lumps. Don't embarrass old grandma now. I like it. Very nice. There's Sela. Couple of recruits. There's Aura. Oh, group of soldiers talking loudly, laughing joyfully, and passing around a flask. So, picture this, Sela says. My sword is by the fire. There's 2 goblins about to snatch it, and 3 more are digging through my tent. And I am sat in the bushes wearing just my mail shirt, wondering what the blast to do. An old mercenary taught me about the mail shirt. You can't sleep in armor, but it's not so bad in mail once you get used to it. Too bad no one told me not to go into the bushes without my sword. Recruit asks, so what did you do? What did I do? I barked like crazy. Goblins are afraid of dogs, you know. So I went wild and started running around. I spot my sword, and they spot me, so I jump over the fire wearing nothing but my mail shirt, and I grab my sword and I yell in my big tough voice, "Oh, Inheritor, grant me the power to crush these filthy creatures." My sword is shining, the goblins are screaming. I jump to attack them and they fight back, but I fought them off somehow. But ever since then, I never take a step without my weapon. Sela takes a sip from the flask. Ha ha ha, that's some story. Hey, stop gulping, leave some for us. We've only just set off and you're already drinking? Irabeth asks. And with the queen in the camp? Stop this at once. The knights quickly snap to attention. Sela raises a flask, says loudly, right you are, Commander Tirabade. We are but drinking to the queen's health. Yeah. To Her Majesty's health. Earbeth rubs her forehead with the palm of her hand. Commander, are you sure this is the right way to train your soldiers? Never mind, it's your business. All right. Good sized camp here for sure. What's this? Just some regular weapons. I don't care about those so much. The chapel tent seems small. We outfitted this tent to be used as our chapel. Even the less pious crusaders will come here to say their prayers when the final battle is upon us. I've seen it happen in my previous campaigns. Nobody in here. Just Altar of Torag, the father of creation, dwarven god of craft and kin. Altar of Aristil, old Deadeye, the god of hunting and farming and the quiet pastoral life. Altar of Iomade, the light of the sword, the goddess of justice and valor and the patron of the crusades. The place has been sanctified. It can protect the area around it, right? Altar of Desna, the great dreamer, goddess of freedom, travel, luck, and dreams. And finally, the altar of Serenre, the healing light, the goddess of the sun, of healing and redemption. Nothing too much in there aside from the altars. Okay. Sure, we're missing plenty. We haven't seen Camellia yet. Trip and Lan are down here. I guess we haven't been down this way yet. Let's come down here and see what's up down here. Ah, Darren. Ah, there you are, you dashing troublemaker, you. Darren flashes you a self-satisfied smile. On our short acquaintance is coming to an end. Very soon, you will depart on your crusade, where you'll scrape by on horrible rations, struggle vainly to fall asleep amidst snoring soldiers, be rudely awoken by the freezing cold, and have to look upon the dour faces of self-righteous prigs, before you finally perish at the maw of some demon. I have a journey ahead of me, too. I've just rented a sailboat in the south. I've also hired an excellent chef and a host of other entertainments. Well, to each their own, I suppose. Darren pauses, then suddenly adds in a more serious voice, You know, I am genuinely sad to see you go. If it sounds like mockery, forgive me. I cannot switch off my venom gland on a whim, you see. But you intrigue me. If only we could have spent a little more time together. But of course, Darren grimaces, not under these conditions. Let the Crusades and the demons that have at each other. Let the Crusaders and the demons have at each other. With any luck, they'll take this entire sanctimonious spectacle down with them. Yeah, so I don't really care for him. He's got a crap attitude, but I'll be blunt. You don't intrigue me, not in the way they obviously had in mind, but you are a valuable companion. You could have stayed in my party. Who, me? Where? In this in this army? Darren offers a doubtful smile. You must be joking, of course. Of course I won't stay. Who in his right mind would trade a luxurious and carefree life for this crusade? In any case, I intended to wait until the army departs. I do love a good send-off, especially when it is I who is staying and someone else who is heading off to meet a dreary, hopeless end. Sometimes one does as good to ruminate on the unfairness of life. Well then, farewell, Commander. I assume I shall be your most precious memory on this most disgusting and exhausting road to the pointless slaughter of battle. Or, if not the most precious memory, then at least the most stirring. Darren smirks before instantly losing all interest in you. Or at least he pretends to. Yeah. Crusaders. Couple of recruits. Probably just some weapons. Don't need those. There's Lan and Trip. All right, well, let's go check out the commander's tent, I suppose. Still don't see Camellia anywhere. All right, Queen's here. Social, that's a new name. Leoder Hawkblade, I think we've seen him once or so. My respects, Commander. I hope you'll be able to spare me some time after all the formalities. Good to meet you, Commander. And the Queen. What are we doing? Queen greets you with a stare. She's dropped the pompous air with which she just announced the Fifth Crusade. The face of the ruler of Mendev appears calm and thoughtful. She's made her move and now awaits her opponent's reply.
Commander, I'm satisfied with the troop review, but I do not expect they will be sufficient for the task. You will have to prove yourself a shrewd leader and hire the necessary troops with the provided funds.
Okay.
I have chosen a target for your campaign, and that target is Dresden, our lost outpost within the World Wound. The Sword of Valor was kept there, a banner that was once carried by Iomade herself. Our greatest relic was lost when the city fell. I should make one thing clear from the start. The Sword of Valor is no mere symbol, but a powerful weapon against demons. The holiness of the banner weakens them and robs them of one of their most dangerous abilities, teleportation. A forced march to Dresden awaits you. The Sword of Valor is kept somewhere within the Citadel. The demons probably think it's a hunting trophy. Its recovery is just as important as retaking the city itself. I hope the task is clear. I'm sending 2 specialists to help you, along with the soldiers. A historian, Nura Denduar, and a cleric, Soziel Vainik.
Queen nods to the human man and the young halfling woman next to her.
One of the famous inquisitors of the Church of Iomade also wants to talk to you. The Honorable Leota, whom everyone calls Hawkblade.
I do not wish to keep you, Commander. The matter I must discuss with you is extremely important, but it is not directly related to the Crusade. You no doubt wish to meet your new comrades and speak with Her Majesty. Therefore, I shall leave you now, but I ask that you seek me out in the camp at your earliest convenience.
Hi! Listen, it's amazing here. It's like I'm in a ballad. There's knights in shining armor, deadly dangers, glorious feats. We are going to show those demons! I'm so tired of sitting in a library reading books about history. It's time I took part in it!
Wow, she's bubbly.
I'm glad to help our cause, Commander. If you have some time later, I'd like to speak with you further.
Okay.
You'll have plenty of time to talk. You're the Knight Commander's people now, his trusted advisors and companions. Now then, will you please leave us? Irabeth, you can go too.
All right. Well, this is true. When I met in the Defender's Heart, I never imagined you'd make me the commander of the new crusade.
Some actions may be deemed bold, or even extreme. And beyond those, there are some you might call the Queen's last resort. I am not a simple monarch. I am at war with the Abyss, a war which has lasted over 100 years. I cannot allow myself the luxury of caution. In you, I see a chance, and I am willing to stake everything on it. However, you cannot blame me for putting you in charge of the crusade. I only formalized what had already happened in the hearts and minds of many. People spoke of the power that descended upon you and helped you save the Wardstones from corruption and total destruction. Word of this feat quickly spread far beyond the borders of Mendev. There was no other person who could better fit the role of Knight Commander of the Fifth Crusade.
Okay. Mission to retake Dresden.
Of
Questions.
course. I shall answer.
How did the demons manage to conquer Dresden in the first place?
That's a good question. Its walls were built by dwarf craftsmen, and the power of the Sword of Valor protected the city. Alas, where raging hordes failed, a single lying tongue was all they needed to succeed. The demoness Minago convinced a young and ambitious crusader named Staunton Vane that the banner belonged on the battlefield. He went on a daring and unapproved raid. and the banner ended up in the enemy's hands. The city fell soon after. Ever since then, for 7 decades, it has served as a citadel for the forces of the Abyss.
Yeah, saw him. Defected to the demons.
Oh, really? I wasn't informed of this. After Dresden fell because of Staunton, he was nearly sentenced to death. He deserved it. In wartime, men are hanged for far less. But you have no idea what a terrible sight it is. A raging crowd of crusaders baying for blood. Never have my fighters looked so much like the demons we are fighting. I commuted Staunton's sentence and stripped him of his rank. Not just for him, but for my army and my country. We are not Hell Knights. We do not maintain discipline with public executions.
Yeah, tough choice, but I get it.
Thank you for your support. The longer you live, the more things you do, and the more criticism you endure. Today, many blame me for all manner of reasons, and few try to understand my actions. Your words warm my soul.
So what do I have at my disposal exactly?
Everyone we saw today at the parade. First among them, the Eagle Watch, who remain a powerful force thanks to Irabeth's resourcefulness. Also marching with you are several minor knightly orders, as the minor volunteer units like to be called. And finally, I have personally selected some recruits from Neurosian. They have little in the way of battle experience, but great determination and a thirst to prove themselves. I've always thought that an army benefits from at least one such unit.
Okay.
These forces, as I said, are not enough for a march on Dresden. You will have to hire additional troops with the funds that have been provided to you. But for a brave commander, and I hope you are one, that is just the beginning. If you retake Dresden, recover the holy power of the Sword of Valor, and gain a foothold in the region, then new armies will join under your banner. The Fifth Crusade is only beginning. Many battles and victories lie ahead.
All right, so I mean, it's been a while. Nobody's managed to take the city. Why is this different?
We have a chance now that we haven't seen in decades. But it's more than that. You created this chance for us by foiling the demons' plans in Canabris. The army who attacked the city came straight from Dresden. Demon hordes from the Abyss are usually encamped there, but many of them perished on the streets of Canabris. We must attack swiftly before they can restore their forces. When the city is free and the Sword of Valor appears before our soldiers, they won't be sending in any more reinforcements. Demons cannot teleport into an area protected by the banner of the goddess.
Okay. What about long-term goals? Are we going to work on the world wound and get rid of it?
Now you are talking like a real knight commander. However, answering your question is not easy. To win this war, we must bar the demon's way. There are a few planar rifts leading to the Abyss across the territory we call the world wound. The best specialists we could find have tried to close them on separate occasions, with no success, as you may have guessed. The world wound is more than just a chain of portals to the Abyss. We do not understand its nature yet. The methods of rift closure known to magical science simply do not work here. However, we have a hypothesis, and a rather well-grounded one, that we must begin at the source of the problem, the place where the world wound was opened.
Sounds fun.
The main rift lies through the city of Iz and the Threshold Fortress, deep in the former lands of Socorus. We have never managed to fight our way so far and gain a foothold to allow the mages to explore the origins of the world wound. So, the next step, after you succeed in Dresden, is an offensive push deeper into the world wound, with the aim of reaching Threshold, the very threshold of the Abyss.
Clever name.
Wonderful.
So did you know the souls of angels from heaven are confined in the Wardstone?
I had guessed as much. Many angels fought alongside us in the First Crusade. Heaven was unable to mobilize its full might to aid us, but individual celestials volunteered to fight for our cause. Then one day, they all vanished, saying that they were setting off on an important mission. Not long after, Iomede's herald erected the first wardstone in Canobris, and then the others in cities across Mendev. Even back then, I had nagging doubts, but my faith in Iomade easily assuaged them. It is for us to serve the goddess after all, not to question her works. Nevertheless, I am pleased that you solved the mystery of the Wardstone in Kenobris, and were able to save this gift of Iomade. It was a deed worthy of a knight commander of the Fifth Crusade.
Queen subtly inclines her head in solemn acknowledgement of your service. All right, you should know I received an unusual gift in the caves beneath Kenobris. In a vision, I saw the death of an angel called Lariel. Somehow he's able to grant me the ability to reveal the light of heaven.
Lariel. I knew him. He disappeared shortly before the world wound grew, and Dresden fell into the enemy's hands. In the chaos, we had more important concerns than investigating the fate of a single angel. Even one so righteous and beloved as Lariel. And afterward, matters took a turn for the worse. The angels left us to go on their special mission. It is so strange to hear the names I used to hear when I was young, like getting a message from the past. It is sad news, but it brings me back to the times when we strongly believed in our victory, and we rushed headlong toward it without fear. Could it be that such times have come again?
All right. Well, what are you going to do while I'm off, winning the war?
Overlooking a spot of insubordination just at the moment. However, I shall answer you. I shall prepare the defenses at Nerosian and all the other border cities and plan the future of the Fifth Crusade. Does that satisfy your curiosity, Knight Commander?
Yeah, see, we lost the Aeon Mythic path, it looks like. Because we can't choose this. So, all right. My queen, I'd ask you to remain with us. The Dresden campaign is the hope of the crusade, and the blessing of Iomade that you carry may be decisive in this battle.
Here, a polite attempt to appeal to the conscience of an old sovereign?
Queen flashes something of a slightly astonished smile.
I don't know if you realize what you're suggesting. If our enemies in the depths of the wound were to discover that I was with your army, they would immediately send their most vicious demons to attack. They would stop at nothing to be rid of me, and thereby sow chaos across Mendev. But you are right. I shouldn't be sitting it out in the rear. I am a warrior queen, and a queen of warriors. Yet my fighters have forgotten what I look like. Fine. I shall join the crusade, but on my own terms. First, I shall assemble my entourage and lead the parade out of the camp. I shall catch up with you later, along with a few hand-picked bodyguards. We'll change our armor, and I'll become a knight of a minor order and join the troops incognito. Until we approach Dresden, no one should know I am among you. But before we storm the city, I shall show myself to the troops and join the battle. Let it be a surprise for the demons. I hope you won't complain of my company on the road, Commander, since you were the one who insisted upon it. Do you have any other questions?
I think the task is clear.
Splendid. Ah, yes. We have one final matter to attend to. It should be rather enjoyable.
Yeah, don't get your hopes up, Valric.
Count, there you are. You received my instruction?
I did, though I did not have time to read the thing before I was dragged before your majesty. In truth, I was readying myself to depart.
Yeah, you're not going anywhere, buddy.
No matter. I trust you will forgive your sovereign for the rather brusque summons, especially when you learn what prompted it. As you are aware, he has recently been appointed my Knight Commander of the Fifth Crusade. I spent a long while pondering whom to appoint to the highly sensitive post of Commander's Field Attaché and Advisor Plenipotentiary without portfolio. Congratulations, Count.
It is a great honor, I suppose.
The Count's cool expression wavers, but he seems to not be fully cognizant of what is happening. That or he's holding himself tightly in check. What a wonderful gesture, Your Majesty. I imagine our dear Count would have been inconsolable if you hadn't given him this chance to serve the common cause.
I knew you would approve, Commander.
The queen bestows a smile upon you, then brings her gaze to rest on Darren once more.
I had my doubts about whether you were ready for such a responsibility, Count, but your conduct in Kenobris has put my mind at ease. So, you will travel with the troops to Dresden. Only the commander may remove you from your post, but I trust that you will dutifully fulfill his orders and make a good showing of yourself. Especially since word of your appointment, Count, will reach the court at any moment. All of Mendev's nobility will be following your successes in service to the nation, including all of your devoted admirers. I even heard that one bard with whom you are particularly friendly has already begun composing a ballad to honor your heroic participation in the crusade and your faithful service to the commander here.
Your largesse truly knows no bounds, dear cousin. I am most gratified by the honor you have shown me.
Count offers a bow, either as a sign of respect or in order to hide his flushed face. Only the barest quaver can be heard in his voice.
Then let's get going. May Ayomade help us.
All right, guys. So we've got our mission, and we've got Darren back in the fold. You're not going anywhere. There's a Nevia. We're going to have to talk to her, but not this time because we are over time here already. And so we're going to call it here. We've got everything set up to get going next time. So if you've enjoyed this episode, do me a big favor, hit that like button for me. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching.